Okay, now what's the first thing that you need to focus on when you're dealing with customers? And that is being courteous. Okay, the other way of looking at courteous is being polite with the customers. I think for me, when you're interacting with the customer, that is the first and most important thing that you need to do. I can't think of anything which is more important than courtesy when you're interacting with customers. So this includes these three things, and we'll tell you a little more about them, right? So the first thing that you need to do is start and end your interactions on a positive note, right? Start every interaction with a smile and a positive greeting. A customer can determine if you're willing to help them or not within the first 7 seconds of interacting with you. And I think in another class I have spoken about this, but this is a class that is, this is a point that is worth kind of re-mentioning to you, right? So a customer or any person makes an impression or whether or not you want to help them within the first 7 to 10 seconds of dealing with you, right? In the first 7 to 10 seconds of dealing with you, if you give them an impression that you don't want to help them, and then if you say no to them for something, or you cannot adhere to a request that they have, the customer ends up thinking that, this guy wanted to say no to me or not help me right from the start, right? I could tell from the first 5 to 7 interaction only that this person didn't want to help me, so he's saying no to me, right? That's what happens in the customer's head. On the other side, if you start a customer interaction extremely positively during the first 7 to 10 seconds, you do it extremely well, the customer, even if you can't help him, then ends up thinking that, hey, this person started the interaction so well, he's really keen on helping me. There must be a genuine problem, or there must be a genuine reason why he can't adhere to what I want or do what I want, right? And it all depends on the first 7 to 10 seconds, right? And so, if you're physically present with the customer, your body language plays such a big role, you smiling plays such a big role, a positive greeting at the start plays such a big role, right? And as a matter of fact, this is not just true when you're coming with, when you're dealing with customers in any situation. The first to 7 seconds interactions is so important because people make their impressions based on that, right? Now, regardless of how the interaction went, close on a pleasant note, right? So that becomes very, very important, because in the end you need to understand that your customer is not your friend, right? It's a customer, right? And irrespective of how that interaction is gone, you need to try to end that interaction on a positive note. So start positive, end positive, for sure. Really concentrate on those two things. Stop emotional leakage. Restart or start afresh with every customer. Right now, again, this is so important to understand, right? So let's assume that a person has, I'm just taking 10 here, right? So let's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So let's assume these are the 10 interactions that you have with a customer. Right now, the third customer doesn't know how your interaction went with the second customer. The fourth customer doesn't care how your interaction has gone with the third customer, right? The 10th customer doesn't know what happened with the sixth customer, right? They have no idea of what happened to them. Now, what happens in a lot of cases is, you have one bad interaction with a customer and you carry on, do emotional leakage. Then you carry forward that same mood, right, of this bad interaction to the next customer and the next customer and the next customer, and he doesn't care that you had a bad interaction here with somebody, right? He's got nothing to do with that. And therefore, when you're dealing with customers, you need to have a simple rule: whether the interaction with the previous customer has gone well or not, you restart yourself for every conversation, you restart yourself for every communication that you have with the customer, and you start positively. That's exactly like a button that you press with for every interaction that is there. And having that logic really helps, right? Because if you let the emotional leakage happen, you're going to carry forward that. And as a matter of fact, emotional leakage also means that you could have had a bad start to your morning with some family member of your. You could have gotten into a quarrel, a fight, or something could have happened at home. But when you get started with your customer interaction, there shouldn't be anything there that you bring into these interactions, right? I often tell people cricket is going on right now, so you don't care whether Ajinkya Rane has had a fight with his wife in the morning or not, right, of the match. You don't care about it. You say, listen, whether you had a fight with your wife or not is your problem. When you come on the field, please play well. Right? That's really what we want, for you to play well in that match. We don't care what's happening in your personal life, right? And that's exactly, the customer shouldn't care that you're having a problem with your personal life or a previous interaction, right? And of course, groom and dress well, because again, in the first 7 seconds, that makes a big impression for people if you're groomed well. Okay.